Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. It is time to really start the end of year content. I actually was going to start my end of year content talking about if I read my 24 books I wanted to read in 2024, but I am still cramming. Like, I'm looking at some of the books that I know for a fact are on that list, or at least one of them. I'm looking at that one right there. So I want to see if I can cram a couple more in before that, because I'm doing really well with that, I'm pretty sure, but I want to give myself till the last minute to do that. So I might film that at the end of this week or the end of next week, and that'll be more of like an end of the month thing, because I am going to do my worst and best and disappointments and DNFs, etc. That's going to be beginning of January, very end of December, because I like giving myself to the last minute, especially because this month I am reading books that I think I'm going to love, which has slightly backfired so far in the vlog that I'm currently working on. So not loving that. So I decided that I think it would be better to start with 25 books I want to read in 2025. We're getting up there. Eventually I will switch to just like 10 books I want to get to or 20 books that I want to get to. But right now 25 is still super doable. I'm over 100 books now, so I feel like I should make one of these. Like, what I'm reading next year should be stuff that I'm thinking about now and some like backlist stuff. So a lot of this stuff is new and there are some backlist stuff, but it is mostly new stuff, which I am quite excited about. I'm just gonna get right into this list because I'm exhausted and I want to go eat a snack and go take a nap and maybe watch a movie. I have a lot of crocheting to do as well. I was supposed to go do a bunch of errands today outside, but it's cold and raining. I don't feel like dealing with it today, so that sounds like a tomorrow problem. Oh, starting off, I don't think any of these are specifically in order. They're just things that I think of, and I did go through Goodreads, so some of them might accidentally be in order. First off, we are starting with Immortal by Sue Lynn Tan. That is the same author as the Daughter of the Moon Goddess series, duology, that I'm absolutely obsessed with. I love that series, so I definitely want to read Immortal. I have very high expectations for this book. I am quite nervous about it, but I have faith because I loved how the book was written and the plot line and the romance. Everything was just so good and dramatic and interesting that I'm hoping Immortal is as good. Next, I have A Sea of Unspoken Things by, I believe, Adrienne Young. I do not have the authors in front of me, so I'm gonna have to look up some of them. And I picked this specifically because The Unmaking of June Farrow is still, I read it in January for our book club, it is still ranking among my best books that I've read this year. I adored that book and I definitely want to read more Adrienne Young. Her new release is A Sea of Unspoken Things, so I'm quite excited about it because I love her writing style, and it's got this like just very like beautiful feel to it. And that's why number 3 on this list is Spells for Forgetting, because I have not gotten to it yet, which is like weird, like, right? That's kind of weird that I read Unmaking of June Farrow, but I haven't read Spells for Forgetting. It's literally like super easy to get to. It's like in my shelf in my bedroom that I look at every single day, and I still haven't read it yet. I don't know if it's like fear that it was like a one-off, like Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I literally won't read Olivia Blake books anymore because I've hated every other book that I've read by her except for Alone with You in the Ether. So I'm quite nervous that this is a similar situation, but I don't know because I haven't tried another one by Adrienne. I probably have read another Adrienne Young, but I can't think of what it is right now. At least adult releases, I don't think I've read another Adrienne Young. So I have 2 on my list for next year. Number 4, we have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I believe this is our book club pick for February. Grady Hendrix is one of those great picks for book clubs because it is going to be divisive. People either love his books or hate them. I think we did, or I don't think it was our book club pick last year, but I did a book review for How to Sell a Haunted House. I don't think it was part of our book club. No, it wasn't, but I had a lot of people commenting on that video about like people were so ping pong with that one. They either loved it or they hated it. It was crazy. So I think Witchcraft for Wayward Girls will be a really interesting book club pick. I'm nervous a little bit because Grady Hendrix can sometimes be a lot, but I'm excited and I love the cover. Number 5 is obviously Onyx Storm. I am about to start, potentially in the next week or so, a reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I have read Fourth Wing. Well, I read Fourth Wing once and then I skimmed Fourth Wing, so I would call it 1.5 reads. So I want to do a full reread of both of them, and I'm quite excited about it because both of those are some of my favorite books, like, of recent times. So I cannot wait for Onyx Storm. It's gonna be an absolute shit show because a lot of people loved Fourth Wing and then were disappointed with Iron Flame. And so Onyx Storm is really, I feel like, going to decide how a lot of people feel about the series. Personally, my friend, I just literally had a coughing fit, that's why I'm red. My best friend and I personally loved Iron Flame because it was so much more heavy fantasy than the romance, which is what I saw a lot, is that people were really disappointed about the lack of romance in the second one. I don't care. It was so good. And we found so many, like, a lot of people said there was a lot of plot holes. I did not get that at all. My friend had this whole giant board of, like, how things connected from the first book and how things that seemingly were plot holes really weren't because they connected this way and this way and this way. It was crazy. She had, basically what I did for We Used to Live Here is what she did for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and it was crazy how intricate some of the connections were. They were insane. So personally, I think they're really, really well written and the fantasy is really good in them. So I am so excited for Onyx Storm. And there will be a full spoiler reading vlog for that one, like I have done for the past two books. This one is number 6 and it is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I am nervous now. Ali Hazelwood books for me have been fantastic up until Not in Love. Not in Love was not what I wanted at all, but it was late. She even said it was different. She said, this is not like my other books. This is very different. It's more of an erotica book, and I definitely felt that, and that is not the type of book that I like. A lot of people on here, I got a lot of comments saying that it wasn't that bad, and I was sitting there going, what are you talking about? You guys must read much more intense romances than I do because I was a little shocked by that one. So I did end up DNFing that one because it just had a lot of stuff in it I did not like. But at the same time, I read Bride. It was at the beginning of this year. And Bride is actually my favorite Ali Hazelwood that I read, right above The Love Hypothesis. So I'm nervous. I'm hoping Deep End is definitely more similar to, I think it's about a swim team. I don't think it's romantic-y like what Bride is. I'm hoping it's gonna be more like The Love Hypothesis and those three compared to Not in Love. So it's still on my most anticipated and books that I want to read in 2025, but I'm nervous about it. Oh, at the end of this video, also, we're gonna go through my 5-star predictions from this list, which I like doing. Next, I have a Libba Bray book, which crazy. Under the Same Stars. I've been trying to get my hands on a NetGalley arc of this, but they're ignoring me and it makes me so mad. But this is the same author as the Diviner series, and if you're old like I am, her previous series that I literally can't remember the name of, I had it in my head and it just went just gone. But she had this whole series when I think I was in middle school that was really popular. The Great and Terrible Beauty. Is that it? I think that was so popular. I loved the writing of it when I was a kid. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember really liking it and not finishing the series. I read the first and second one, I think. But anyway, same author as the Diviners. I am nervous about this one as well. A lot of these I'm really nervous about because it's authors that I know and have broken my heart. The Diviners and The Lair of Dreams are two of my favorite, like, probably, I don't even know how you would explain it. I guess it's historical fantasy is what I would say it's as. Those are some of my two favorite fantasy books, like, ever, but I really did not like books 3 and 4. King of Crows, and I can picture the cover of 3. I don't remember what it's called, but I did not like 3 and 4. 3 was like a 3-star, and then 4 was a 1-star. I hated book 4. So I am nervous about Under the Same Stars, but I'm gonna read Libba Bray. I love her writing, so I'm hoping that she knows how to finish that series. If it's a series, I don't know if it's standalone or not, but I really want to read it. Next, at number 8, we have Emily Wilde's Companion of Lost Tales. Again, another one I'm trying to get an arc of from NetGalley. I got the last one, Map of the Otherlands, super early, but for some reason they're ignoring me for this one. It's probably because I panned the second one. I thought it was just fine. I think I gave it just a solid 3-star after giving Emily Wilde's a 5-star and still absolutely rave about that book to this day. So I'm hoping this one just does something a little bit differently. I thought Map of the Otherlands was just kind of a rinse and repeat of book 1, which made me kind of check out in the book. I do want to reread them. I kind of want to do a reread of the 2 books. They're short, before this one comes out, just to see if maybe my opinion will change reading them back to back. I don't know. I'm debating, but I definitely do want to read Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. Next, we have a weird one. We have a weird one because I have some of these books, but not a lot of them. But it is Bemused, and it is one of the Disney releases. It's like a Hercules story about one of the muses. And it looks so good. I really just pulled it up and I love the cover. It looks so fun, but it's by Farah Roshan. It says the untold origin story of the 5 muses. I think that sounds so much fun, and it sounds like it could be a future Disney movie. Oh, and I've read a couple of these Disney ones and I actually have enjoyed them. So I think out of all of them, this one sounds like one of the more interesting ones. So I am planning to pick that one up, and I'm sure my mom will want to read that one too. She likes the Disney books. She's read a lot of them. So I'll probably end up picking it up and then passing it to her if it's good. Number 10, the book that we are all so excited for, besides Onyx Storm, you know, Sunrise on the Reaping. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. This is the next prequel in the Hunger Games series. I'm so excited. I gave A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I gave that a 5-star. It was one of my favorite books the year that I read it. Adored it. I went and watched the movie with my husband, and it's one of his favorite movies. He loved the movie. I really liked the movie. I liked the changes that they made. I still think the book was better. I would give the movie like a 4-star because I think they did goof up some of the characters a little bit. They didn't make one of the characters evil enough, which is, I think, changed the whole tone of the movie, but I still very much enjoyed it. And I love the book. I absolutely love the book. So I cannot wait. But I'm scared for this one because I know it's going to be so depressing because I think it's Haymitch's Reaping. I think it's Haymitch's story. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I think a lot more people are going to like this one though, because it is following Haymitch, one of our protagonists, because a lot of people complained about the first one being about an evil character, and it was like, why did you read it? Like, it literally said it's about Snow. And you know from the regular series, Snow is evil. So what were you expecting? Like, he has to be evil. It's like people who complain about watching the third, the third Star Wars movie where Anakin turns. What? Why are you surprised? Especially if you watch the original 3. How are you surprised? Like, you know this is coming. So it's the same thing. Like, what did you expect? Of course, the people are gonna turn evil because you know they're already evil. So I was mad at a lot of people for saying that. Then at number 11, we have Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. This is definitely one I'm going to be reading with my mom. Mom loved Vera Wong's first book, and then we read pretty much all of the Jessie Q Sutanto, like, cozy mystery books. We read all the Dal A for Auntie series, which was really, really fun, and then we read the first one together, so we're definitely going to be reading this one together. Then, probably out of all of these, my most anticipated release. I was just thinking about this author the other day and how they hadn't released anything new for a little while. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am one of the few who loved Carrie Soto is Back. I gave that a 5-star. I put that almost as good as Evelyn Hugo. I loved Carrie Soto is Back. I liked Malibu Rising. I do think that one was a bit more boring because we weren't focused like heavily on one character. Like, Carrie Soto was like Carrie Soto. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was Evelyn Hugo. And Malibu Rising was more about multiple family members. So I didn't love that one as much, but I still gave it a 4. I still enjoyed it. And obviously, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was a 5-star. And then Daisy Jones was a mixed review for me. I didn't love how that one was written, but I loved the ending and the emotional punch, so I think I gave that one a 4-star as well. So I haven't read any of her older ones just because none of the synopses have really piqued my interest that much, but I will eventually read them. But yeah, so her new book, Atmosphere, is coming out next year. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and I've seen both covers. I love both covers. I might get both of them. I don't know. I definitely am getting the American one because it matches the other books that I have. But this one is taking place in the 1980s space shuttle program, and that sounds awesome. So I'm really, really excited for Atmosphere. That is arguably probably my most anticipated. Number 13, we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. This is, I believe, the new V.E. Schwab book, and I am so excited because I think this is going to follow along the veins, I'm hoping, of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and it is an adult book. So this says, 3 young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high and one grows deep and one grows wild. All of them grow teeth. Sounds great. This does seem more fantasy than Invisible Life of Addie LaRue because the main point of fantasy was the memory stuff in that. But this does seem way more fantasy, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited, especially after just reading Gallant. I am highly excited for that. I have to have it on here because I'm going to read it. I don't know if it's necessarily anticipated, but Riley Sager just released their new like cover art for their new book. This is number 14 on the list, With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I don't know. I don't know about this. It sounds a lot different than his normal stuff. And again, I love the cover. He knows how to do a cover, or his publisher, I guess, knows how to do a cover. One train, no stops, a deadly game of survival and revenge. 1942, 6 people destroyed Anna Matheson's family. 12 years later, she's ready for retribution. So we're at least following a female character again, because I think he realized that following the male character was a bust. It just didn't work as well as his female characters. It just didn't. And I've read plenty of thrillers that have a male lead, and they were better than that. So maybe he just doesn't know how to write a male lead. Or the story just sucked, because it kind of did just suck. I think I gave it a 3.5. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I mean, this one sounds good, but we'll see. It's been a couple of years since I really loved a Riley Sager book. Next up, we have the next in the Spell Shop series. It's definitely one of those, like, they're each standalones, but they're going to reference stuff from the previous books. The Enchanted Greenhouse. The cover is already stunning. It matches perfectly to the Spell Shop. It's gonna have sprayed edges that look like the Spell Shop. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It just looks great, and it's following a character that was very briefly mentioned in the first book, which I am so excited about because I was like, oh, this is so tragic, this is so sad, but we're gonna have the story. We're gonna have the story about this character, which is so cool and such a small character you wouldn't expect to end up being a big deal in another book. So can't wait. Cannot wait for The Enchanted Greenhouse. Number 16 is the Jasad Crown. The Jasad era was a huge win for me this year. I do think the ending of that one was a little bit of a letdown. I did read it in my first Illumicrate Purge video, I think. I'm trying to remember if it was in the Purge video. It's been so long, but I think I read it in that one, and then it was just really good. I gave it a 4 stars. So I'm really excited for the sequel because I think it set it up in a way that the sequel could be amazing, but it has to be done carefully to not turn into something that's been done 1,000 times. Then one of my favorite authors is coming out with a new book. The Library at Hellbore is at number 17, and that's by Cassandra Khaw. I have liked every single thing that I've read by Cassandra Khaw, and it's amazing. It's amazing. The Salt Grows Heavy is arguably one of my favorite novellas / books in general. It was on my favorites list the year that I read it. And then I read Nothing But Blackened Teeth, which I gave a 3 star, which to me is a 5 star for that book because most people gave it like a negative number. Most people gave it a 1, they hated it. I thought it was highly amusing and I gave it a 3. And then this year for one of my horror vlogs, I read The Dead Take the A Train by Cassandra Khaw and Richard Kadri, which I still need to read a book by him. And I loved that. I gave it a 4. It was so good. The end got a little bit wonky. But overall I loved that and I can't wait for that sequel. So they announced that they have another book coming out, The Library of Hellbore. So excited for that one. The next one is going to kind of decide my opinion about Isabel Cañas. Possession of Alba Diaz. This is going to be the 3rd book by this author. The first one was The Hacienda, which I gave 5 stars, 4 or 5 stars. I loved it. It was so good. Really cool haunted house story. Historical horror that actually really worked. And then the other one I read last year, well, I DNF'd it. I DNF'd it in October as our October. The Vampires of El Norte. Hated it. I don't know where her writing went from the first book, but the writing in the second book was atrocious. It was so bad, I couldn't even finish it. So I'm hoping that The Possession of Alba Diaz is significantly better. It looks really good, so I'm hoping it's more along the lines of the first one and not the second book. Next up, we have 2 books, so number 19 and number 20 are Never a Hero, which is the second book in the Only a Monster series, which I am going to be reading Only a Monster at some point. But the second book is Never a Hero, which I just haven't read it yet because I was waiting for the third one. I thought it was supposed to be a duology, and then I found out it was a trilogy, so I didn't read the second one. because I didn't want to. So the third one is coming out next year, Once a Villain. So I need to read both Never a Hero and Once a Villain, and I'm hoping it lives up to how good the first book is. Then at number 21, we are almost done. We have Accomplice to the Villain, the third book in the Assistant to the Villain series. Yeah, it's a great series. It's so much fun. If you want just a fun time and like a cozy, slight fantasy, because it's not, I wouldn't call it like super fantasy. I also would not call it romantasy. I don't know why it was in the romantasy category, but I would definitely recommend the series. So I'm really excited to get to the third one because the first two were so fun. Then we have at 22, Holly, which is Belladonna 3.5. I am hoping that Holly kind of wraps up some stuff from Wisteria, because we kind of left Signa, our main character from the first two books, out to dry. Because she like barely was in the third book, and I would like Holly to be following Signa, so I'm kind of hoping that's the thing. Then the last three are just backlist stuff that I need to get to. We have His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. I've loved Naomi Novik's writing. Deadly Education is my favorite series ever. I loved Uprooted, which is, some people really hate that book, but I loved Uprooted. And then Spinning Silver was the only one that I've read that I was like iffy about, and I think I still gave it a 3-star. So His Majesty's Dragon, I have the first book. It's the first in the Temeraire series, her huge series, so I definitely need to get to it. Coming in at number 24 is just read a Colleen Hoover book. It's gonna be It Ends With Us, because they just put It Ends With Us on Netflix and I'm dying to watch it, and I've avoided spoilers, but I just need to read it because I want to know what happens at the end. Everyone talks about the end is crazy, and I want to know what happens at the end, but I want to read the book first instead of letting the movie spoil it for me, because I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So last one, number 25, is Read an Emily Henry book. I have 3 and I haven't read any of them because I keep putting them off because my expectations are so high that I don't want to be disappointed. I just need to read one. It'll probably be nope. What's the one that came out this year? Funny Story. Funny Story? Is it Funny Story? It'll probably be that one, just because a lot of people love it. It seems like something I would really enjoy. So I feel like that would be my best bet. But I also think I have People We Meet on Vacation and Book Lovers. I think those are the other 2 that I have. So I just need to read one. I need to suck it up and read one and just either be happy or disappointed. So anyway, those are the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I am quite excited. I think there's a lot of good picks here. I think this is set up for success. Now, favorites, I think potentially, let's see, 5-star predictions. I'm going to say Onyx Storm. Definitely Onyx Storm is a 5-star prediction. I'm going to go ahead and throw Deep End in there. I'm going to say that I'm going to really love this Allie Hazelwood. I'm also going to Sunrise on the Reaping will be a 5-star. Atmosphere will be a 5-star. Bury Our Bones in Midnight Soil. I'm going to risk it and say that's a 5-star. I'm going to say Accomplice to the Villain is going to be a 5-star. I think that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 of these are like guaranteed 5 stars. The idea is that all of them will be 5 stars, but I feel like that is unlikely. So those are just like the ones that I think will be. But yeah, definitely Onyx Storm, Deep End, Sunrise on the Reaping, Atmosphere, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and Accomplice to the Villain. I'm going to stake my channel. I'm not going to do that because I have opinions on things. So yeah, that is the video. Those are the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Those are my 5-star predictions. And yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I am excited. I think it's going to be a good time. And that is everything I have for you guys. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you plan to read in 2025. What books, the whole 25 in 2025, link it down there. Let me know. Let me know. Just put them all in there. I want to read them all. And that might give me something to add to my lists in my want to reads for next year. And anyway, that is everything that I have for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely comment down below, like I said. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any end of year content. We have a lot of stuff going on in December and January. So definitely don't want to miss any of that. So I will see you guys in the next video.